Welcome, guys. So, as you can see here, we have a polynomial question, and so this is the polynomial x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus c, and its roots are equal to its last three coefficients, which means its roots are a, b, and c. Now, what you need to know to solve this question is a formula called Vieta's formula. And it is a very important formula or theorem. So suppose you have a formula like alpha x power n plus beta x power n minus 1 plus gamma x power n minus 2, so on. So these are the coefficients, alpha, beta, and gamma. And to be able to know what this thing is, we have to know what coefficients and roots are. So these are the coefficients. The constant which is being multiplied into that power of x, and it's useful to figure out how you can associate the roots with the coefficients of the polynomial. So let's take this as 0, 1, 2, and so on, as many terms as there are. And let's put signs, like this is plus, minus, just put it alternatively like that. And then what this thing says is that if you take let's take this one as k. So if you take the kth term or kth coefficient, let's say k is 1 here, so we have beta. This will be equal to the sum of the products of k roots taken at a time. So let's say this thing's roots are, let's make it pqr, and so on. So beta will be equal to the sum of, this is 1, so we have to take the sum of the product of one term at a time, which is basically p plus q plus r. But there's a catch. Remember, we put the negative sign here. This means that beta will be equal to the negative of the sum. And it is not just beta. Beta is, you can directly use beta when alpha is 1. That is, the coefficient of the highest degree term is 1. But usually it'll be beta by alpha. And coming to gamma, it'll be the sum of the products of two terms at a time, and since it is plus here, we don't have to worry about that. And it is gamma by alpha, by the way. And so this will be two terms at a time. Let's say there are more terms here. Then here you'll have PQ plus QR plus RS plus so on. And then we have the n minus 1th root times P. This will be not P, it'll be n, and then comes the last term, which is n times the first one, P. So this is n here. Then, if you take the last term, which is going to be n plus 1, because we're starting with 0 here, it'll be equal to, let's take the last term as, let's take it as sigma. So sigma by alpha is equal to the product, because we're going to take n roots at a time. So we have P, Q, R, so on. Let's take it as n, let's say. So this is the formula you'll be using here. Now, according to this question, the roots are a, b, c, and the coefficients are also a, b, c. So a is going to be equal to the negative, because it is the second term here, negative of a plus b plus c. Now this will give you, let's take the negative this side. So I have minus a is equal to a plus b plus c. Take a this side. You have minus 2a is equal to b plus c. As you can see here, let's take this as minus a is equal to b plus c by 2. So since negative a is the average of b and c, b, negative a, and c will be an arithmetic progression, which makes this correct. Now let's look at the b. Is going to be a little complicating because we'll have the product of 2 at a time. So let's take the last term, c. So we have c is equal to, since it is the fourth term, it'll be negative a, b, c, the product, because that is the last term. It'll always be the product of the roots. And you can also use all these terms to find out the sum of the squares or product of the squares, or you can find many functions of the roots. So now we have this, right? So let's divide it by c on both sides. Just make sure c is not 0. And let's transpose negative that side. We have negative 1 is equal to ab. Now for this, you need to know coordinate geometry. Now, coordinate geometry, there is a fact or a theorem which says that two lines will be perpendicular to each other if their slopes, if the product of their slopes is negative 1. So let's say this slope is m1, this slope is m2. That means m1, m2 is equal to negative 1. Let's look at what we have back there. Since the product of a and b is negative 1, a will be perpendicular to b. Like the line whose slope is a will be perpendicular to the line whose slope is b. So that means this is also correct. Now let's look at this. So here we have a, b is equal to negative 1. And now they're supposed to be integers. The coefficients are integers, so that means a, b are also integers. And now if b is negative 3, then a will have to be 1 by 3 if you solve it out. And 1 by 3 is not an integer, so this is wrong. So the correct options to this thing is b, comma, d. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. Stay tuned for the next episode. Until then, see you soon. Goodbye.